Hi there, everybody. This is John Drew here from Elevated Planet.
And Jolie Gabrielle here from Elevated Planet. And we'd like to welcome you to today's show, where, as always, we've got so much in store for you. And John is going to tell us more about it.
Thank you, Jolie. Yeah, we are continuing our journey returning to Avalon, our world of unspeakable beauty. And as ever, the journey continues to unfold very nicely. And there's so much material here I want to cover. And obviously, we will up and change it a little bit over time and just intermingle things that work. But honestly, it blows my mind when I kind of go through these things, and it's such a fantastic journey, and it does tell you that the time we're going through now is pretty special, right? You think about the thousands upon thousands of years that have gone past, where mankind has been enslaved. Didn't even know we've been enslaved. And in fact, the first time I heard it, I thought, well, that doesn't sound right to me because I remember the Z's mentioned this maybe about, I don't know, well over a year ago. They were talking about the enslavement of mankind. I'm thinking, okay, well, they're saying that we've been enslaved. I don't feel like I've been enslaved. But once you start to dig under the surface and realize that we're these magnificent godlings, these beings of light who can do so much, you realize, yeah, we have been dumbed down to this degree, and it's been deliberate. It has been deliberate, and it's been done by the darker forces. But everything carries a reason. And this is the remarkable thing about it, right? The light is always more powerful than the dark. And we are now going through this remembering slash awakening period. And what a fantastic time to be here on the planet. What a blessing it is to be on this journey. I just love it. I just love it. And I love the community that's coming together. Really grateful for all of you here who are here today, and for all of you who will subsequently watch this on YouTube as well, because this is a journey that we're taking together. We have our WhatsApp community up and running now. We're gathering names, and as ever, on the YouTube videos, we'll also include underneath that, we'll include links to the community to come and join us. And similarly on the newsletter. And again, anybody who wants to go on the distribution list for our newsletter, send me an email, johndrew@elevatedplanet.life, or go onto our website, elevatedplanet.life/contact, and that takes you to the contact page. And just give us your email address, and we will add you to the distribution list. You will be on the journey with us. So, in terms of the community this week, it's been interesting. I've done another ramble with Rua, which means I've got two in the hopper now on the cutting room floor that I'm pulling together, because we've got 3 weeks coming up where we're not doing a live, although we will do a show or two that will be preset to come out on the Sunday at this same time, so that you'll still have something similar. But we also are editing a bunch of videos that, certainly with Rua, we've got a multi-part piece to do there. But also, I did an interview on Friday with Linda, who's here tonight, today as well. Linda Carden, who wrote this book, which I've referenced several times before because it is filled with wisdom, all about mind, body, spirit, and thinking about this from a new paradigm perspective. And I love it. And we had a fantastic interview, and we talked about this in depth. So that is another of those things that, while I'm over in America and then coming back and doing my little tour down to Glastonbury, doing some exploring down on around Glastonbury, Exmoor, and those kind of places. And I'll be able to report back on there as well. Post a few videos from there, just to keep the pot boiling as well, because that is the fabled area where the Avalon is very much linked around Glastonbury, and certainly off the coastline there. But certainly, Glastonbury itself, where the tour is supposed to be linked very much to Avalon. And it's a multi-dimensional kind of place. And as our frequency and vibration rises, this is coming back to us. The Merlin has told us as such. So can't go wrong with that, can you? So I think that's one of the things, and just one of the things I do want to mention while we're doing the recording. I know that Joy, who is part of our community, and again, who is here today, she had a reading with Aveen Murray, a quantum light pod healing with Aveen this last week, actually on Joy's birthday, as it happens. And she had a fantastic reading with her, and just been hearing all about it. And, it's so empowering It's so uplifting. I know I've had at least three of those sessions myself over the last couple of years, and it is quite something if you think about it, right? So you get surrounded, and Avine's over in Ireland, I'm over here in the UK, lay down on the sofa, and you get this light pod that comes around you. I mean, right, this is bizarre, right? This light pod comes around you. You don't see it, but you feel it. And she doesn't really say much for the first almost hour or so because all she's going down through your chakras, through your energy centers, and she's seeing what's there. She's checking your aura. She's checking to see if there's any attachments, any holes, any tears, anything like that. And then after the hour, she'll then tell you what she's found and has there been any healing taken place, what's happened, and also a reading that goes with that as well, because she is a multimodal healer. She's got the shamanic thing going on as well as a bunch of other healing methodologies. So, I do find it really interesting and delighted that Joy found it as joyful as she did as well. So, thank you, Avine, and thank you, Joy. What else would I want to tell you? Oh, yeah. So, congratulations to Tim Steinruck for his latest album that's just been released as well. I'll include that again. I know I put it on the WhatsApp group, but I'm also going to include it on the newsletter. That's a fantastic album, God's Chair. It really is. I mean, I've listened to several of the tracks and it's like, spine-chillingly good. So well done, Tim. He brings out the most fantastic channeled work. That's how I would describe it. I would also say thank you for the emails from David, who is also a great source of wisdom, and from Rua, Linda, and Kit, reaching out with various things, and I do truly appreciate that. And even if I don't come back to you immediately, I do read them, I do value them, and I kind of use those pieces as well, and pretend that wisdom came from me instead. So it's what I do best. Apart from that, yeah, I think before I go into the to start off on the first section, Jolie, is there anything you would care to add?
No, forgive me. Let me turn off my heater. It sounds like a train wreck. No, I think you have added everything that needs to be added. Uh-oh, to my poor heater to the to where we're going, and I'm really looking forward to the how they spoke about during this what we're going to show you during the show how to move into that timeline of joy and of bliss.
Mm,
So it's going to be pretty exciting.
yeah, indeed it is. Indeed it is. And I just noticed Tim is here with us today as well as Tim who's just
Yes.
released the album. So well done,
Well,
Tim. Eh,
Tim, yeah.
Excellent work. Excellent work. So, okay, thank you very much. Okay, so right, well, we'll leap in there. And one thing I will just tell you again for those who've not been on for the last few weeks, this is based on Sarah Breskman Cosme's book, A Hypnotist Journey to Avalon. And it is quite an incredible book. But there is so much information to be lifted and explored and to dig deeper under the surface of that, we're going to keep referencing this for some time ahead, blended with other pieces as well. But nevertheless, this is all done through quantum healing hypnosis technique, which was something that was created by Dolores Cannon over the decades that she was doing this, where she puts people under somnambulistic trance where they can go back. Sometimes it's a past life. Sometimes it can be as simple as going back to your early life to uncover issues. But a lot of it was going back to past lives, and then it was going back to when people were, their consciousness was different energy forms or extraterrestrials, and then you realize that everything is so much different than what we have here in our mortal physical existence. This is just a tiny, tiny fraction. Here we are playing this game on planet Earth, and this the more you uncover, the better this journey becomes. So QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique, that is how Sarah creates these books. The books write themselves, really. She's just reporting verbatim what comes through. But what is really amazing is that what comes through is so aligned. The books are literally lining up. So the people that she taps under the surface under the somnambulistic trance have the stories that complement each other. And it's almost like you've got Dolores, who's now on the other side of the veil, who is bringing the people to her and the consciousnesses that come through to her that create the stories. And it is quite remarkable. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say on that. So this time, she actually goes through to the Knights Templar, somebody who goes back into the lives of a Knights Templar. And that obviously was a long time ago, but then it links into what is happening here and now. And this is what makes it all so fascinating. So, without further ado, I'm going to hit the button and off we go on our part one.
I'm one of the Knights Templar, and we're gathered around, eyes locked on a worn map spread across the table. This isn't just any map, it's crucial, holding secrets that could change everything. Our voices are low, our focus sharp. Every mark on that map has weight, and each one of us knows the stakes are high. This map is no ordinary map. It's the key to a network of hidden passageways beneath America and locations of treasures. These underground tunnels stretch across vast distances, a secret route we can use to protect something priceless. Today we're studying every mark on this worn map, planning our path through these hidden corridors. We're about to navigate these buried pathways, following a route known only to those entrusted with its secrets. What are you transporting through these tunnels? We have one of the arks, the Ark of the Covenant. It's made of gold, and what's inside is more powerful than anything. What's inside it? Pure, raw, unbridled, and ancient energy. This isn't just any power. It's the same energy used in Atlantis. Potent beyond measure, and so powerful it's dangerous. There are tales of those who tried to harness it, only to be consumed, leaving destruction in their wake. This energy doesn't respond. It overwhelms, flooding everything it touches. That's why we guard it with such vigilance. If it fell into the wrong hands, it could destroy everything. What's your plan for this ark? We're preparing to move it. It's too dangerous here. We're taking it to the New World, America, by ship. Once we arrive, we'll transport it through an underground tunnel system to a hidden cavern in the northwest. The tunnel system is ancient, older than most people realize. The entrance looks like a simple cave on the southern coast of America, but the tunnels stretch all the way to the northwest. It's a secret labyrinth. Only the Templars know how to navigate it. We'll take the ark through the tunnels and hide it in a remote mountain cavern. What will you do once it's hidden? Most of us, including me, will stay behind to guard it. I've accepted that this is where my journey ends. I could have lived longer if I wanted to. There was white powder that I could have used that would have prolonged my life, but I didn't want that. This powder could keep you alive even if you didn't have food. We made it with an alchemical process. What was this powder called? They called it monoatomic gold, a substance that would completely renew the body and awaken the spirit. When we prepared it, we dissolved the powder in water and drank it, and the experience was beyond words. The moment it touched you, you felt every cell ignite. Pure energy coursing through you like you were vibrating on a higher frequency. It made you feel profoundly alive, connected to something greater. This powder held such immense power that we had no choice but to keep it hidden, protected from those who might misuse it. It wasn't just a substance, it was a gift, a spiritual force we had to honor and safeguard. Why did this power need to be hidden? It gave immense power to anyone who used it, both physical strength and spiritual connection. But in the wrong hands, it could be dangerous. People with bad intentions could misuse it to dominate others. How is it made? The process was intricate. The alchemist would bring a substance that looked like salt in water to a boil. Over time, the liquid evaporated, leaving behind this shimmering white gold powder, monatomic gold. It wasn't just ordinary gold. It was something far more powerful. This was something far more ancient and spans throughout many star races and galactic planes. It was also used at times in Atlantis. How long does it take for the powder to affect you? Almost instantly. But we didn't use it often. It took too long to make, so we saved it for when it was really needed. It didn't just strengthen us physically. It connected us spiritually to higher realms, allowing us to receive knowledge and guidance. Who are you hiding this from? Secret societies with dark agendas. People who want to control the planet. These groups are linked to an ancient reptilian alien race that seeks to dominate humanity. Their agenda is to halt human evolution and keep us trapped in lower states of consciousness. They've manipulated the bloodlines of powerful families, splicing their DNA with theirs so they can control humanity from the shadows. How does this manipulation affect these families? Some of these people with reptilian DNA feel a deep desire for power and control. They are driven by it. They're not entirely free. They answer to the reptilians, who they see as superior. Where do these reptilian beings come from? They are from another universe, one they destroyed through their greed and darkness. After their world collapsed, they developed technology to escape, and now they travel, seeking to conquer and control. Why haven't they succeeded yet? There are powerful, benevolent beings here to protect humanity and our evolution. These beings are stronger than the reptilians and ensure that their influence doesn't completely take over. The light is always stronger than the dark. What will happen to the reptilians? They'll destroy themselves, just as they did before. Their vibration is too low to survive in the higher realms, where humanity is headed. They can't come with us when we ascend. They'll be left behind, wandering the universe. Why are they so intent on controlling humanity? They need resources, and they want to control us for their survival. But they'll never fully succeed. Humanity is evolving and our growth is unstoppable. However, this depends on which timeline you are on. Polarization is happening now. Those who align with love, kindness, and spiritual growth are on the higher timelines, moving toward ascension. Those clinging to fear and control are on the lower timeline and will continue to be consumed by fear and control. Why is there a negative timeline? To teach those who are unaware to begin the awakening journey within themselves? Sometimes it takes darker realities to pull people forward to the awakening ascension program. What happens to people on the lower timeline when they pass away? They'll shift into higher timelines after death. No one is lost forever. Ascension is a natural part of the soul's journey. When does the splitting take place? It's taking place now, and will continue for all eternity. Shifting and ascending is a natural part of being alive. The shifting process for those experiencing higher timelines will allow them to become galactic citizens and awaken their true power. Are there any practices someone could do to shift themselves to a higher timeline? Giving more, expecting less, receiving and giving love, being kind. Doing inner work will move them to higher timelines. On the higher timelines, the evil agendas will soon all be exposed and extinguished.
So, this unfolding story now takes us to the Templars, and it's amazing to hear literal, first-hand accounts as to what their role was. The Ark of the Covenant thing is fascinating, almost a hint of Indiana Jones about it too, but this monoatomic gold thing has been repeating itself over the last few months. Interestingly, going back to the discovery in 2003 of a hidden chamber located in the Busigi Mountains in Transylvania, as told in the book Transylvanian Sunrise, when the Romanians and the US military were able to tunnel their way through the mountain to reach the chamber, one of the things discovered was monoatomic gold, as well as a holographic projector time machine which was able to reveal the true history of mankind, which was quite some way off the textbook version / pack of lies that we have been taught. But more will be revealed on that in the years immediately ahead. And, of further interest, as you may know, from that chamber in the mountains were 3 tunnels, clearly not built by humans. And just as the Templars accessed tunnels that went on for thousands of miles, one tunnel from Romania emerged in the Giza Plateau, another came up in Nepal, and the other went on into the inner earth, where certain people were able to communicate with the highly advanced civilizations that dwell down there. And it's quite a beautiful place by all accounts, and once we have gone further into our ascension, then they will be emerging to help humanity create our new future. And as for the reptilians, as previously stated, they have 3 choices. Firstly, they can choose to stay in the density and die. Or secondly, they can renounce the darkness, embrace the love, and become part of the new earth. Or third, they get back on their ships and go back home to the Draco constellation. The increasing frequency on the planet will make it impossible for them to affect humanity's higher timeline. And as for the powerful benevolent beings that were mentioned, these are the White Hat Alliance in collaboration with our galactic chums. They are closing down the planned negative agendas and quietly bringing the perpetrators to justice. But as always, this is a free will planet. The ascension process must incorporate a lower timeline for those who find themselves stuck in the density and unable to escape. But the good news is that we all finish up in the same place, returning to source. It's just that our journeys to get there will differ, and that is as it should be. The chaos we see unfolding around us right now is all part of this ascension process. So nothing to be feared and everything to look forward to in our world of unspeakable beauty, which is heading our way. So, Jolie, what would you care to add?
Yes, and he spoke about what practices we can use or do to shift to that higher timeline. And that's a beautiful question because it's all around us. It's due to the deals that our government and the people in power have made. Unfortunately, a lot of us are being harvested for our energy, and that's known as loosh. And so, oftentimes, when people are arguing and fighting and staying in a negative state and being in fear, that energy, their aura layer, their chakras, there's holes, and energy seeping out, much like, a hole in the waterbed or a huge hole in the ozone layer. The energy is just it's leaving. And with us, it can be the same thing. And so if you've ever wondered, as you got why you're tired, why you have no energy to move and do things, it's not you. It can be the fact that we are being harvested and our energy is being utilized in other ways. So to take the power back, one of the first things I believe we want to do is stay in our bodies. We've got to take ownership over our own energy. And once we can do that, then we can begin to sort of let go of some of this. Breathing, concentrating on your breath, not trying to replace or get rid of, excuse me, negative thoughts, but replacing them with the positive. And that can move us into that self-love, which will transition us to that higher timeline. Grounding, as always, being in nature. Mother Nature has a way of sending the wind and the rain and the sun to really clean and detoxify not just the human body, but our emotions, because nature cleanses our minds and hearts and gives us clarity, empathy, because Mother Earth comes from that higher timeline and vibration. Like she encompasses it all. Whatever you want, that's kind of the thoughts then to begin to think, to program, to affirm within yourself. And when in doubt, sit in your heart chakra and see how these events make you feel. When you start to feel any guilt, any shame, any fear, that's when you want to move into your breath, move into your grounding, and also beginning to see your future while you ho'oponopono the past that is difficult to let go. And these are some of the ways and the practices that we can utilize, of course, along with meditation and prayer and all journaling and all of those good things. But most of all, I just want to reiterate that to be in your body, to learn how to stay in your body and not leave it in challenging situations is one of the first ways to practice that self-love and to transition your energy into something a little bit more positive and higher.
Very cool. Fascinating stuff, Jolie. Thank you for that. So now we've heard from the Templars, we head back to Thoth the Atlantean, the creator of the Ascension program we're currently witnessing on the planet, with yet more wisdom to share that greatly complements that of the Templars.